All Business Media presents the Professionals Roundtable. Hear what's hot in the professional world. Timely topics to propel your career to the next level. Professionals Roundtable with Rick Delgado. Exclusively on All Business Media.
And welcome to All Business Media, where it is all business all the time. And I'm your host, Rick Delgado. And welcoming back to the program, her name is Leah Skurdal. She is the owner, the teacher, the author, the healer, the speaker. Basically she does it all. Mastery in the Art of Living is the name of the company. She's out of Lino Lakes, Minnesota. You can go to her website, masteryintheartofliving.com, or ring her up by phone at 651-472-3995. Again, Leah Skurdal, welcome back, and how are you?
Hey, thank you. I'm doing fabulous today. Thanks for having me again.
All right. Well, thank you for making your way and joining us once again, Leah. Hey, before we get started, I do this all the time to you, but I have to, just in case we get, new people checking us out for the first time. Maybe they're hearing you for the first time. They haven't heard you before. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do as the owner of Mastery in the Art of Living.
Yes, thank you very much. I teach people about how to create more loving relationships and get the love and joy they want in their lives. I focus on helping change makers to heal those stressful relationships so they can have more energy in their lives and get their work out to the world. Because, the clients I see, the most stress seems to be from those loving relationships that we hope we're getting the love from.
Yeah,
I offer
true.
one-on-one coaching sessions and online workshops.
All right.
And I'm also the author of a book, Seeking Serenity, How to Find Your Inner Calm and Joy.
And where can people get that book?
The book is available on Amazon.
Yep.
Seeking Serenity, How to Find Your Inner Calm and Joy.
And if you want a little help with that, just go to the website, Mastery in the Art of Living. Click on the tab that says Books. There'll be a link right there for Seeking Serenity, How to Find Your Inner Calm and Joy, which, again, as Leah mentioned, you can get on Amazon.com. Take advantage of, it could make a good gift for yourself as well. Right, Leah?
Excellent. Yes, that's true. That's very true. There are lots of tools and tips on how to find that place of inner calm. When you get off, we get off track on the roller coaster of life, and how mastery in the art of living is how do you get back to that place of centeredness quickly and efficiently.
Yeah, and you know what? That's tough for a lot of people, because when they do get off track, sometimes it starts a spiraling effect, right?
Well, no kidding. Years ago, I didn't know. A brave coworker told me in a very kind way that I was angry and that I was hard to work with. I had no idea. I was totally clueless. But the way it works out is, the boss yells at you at me. The boss yelled at me because, from my perspective, he's a controlling jerk. Mm-hmm. But then I feel victimized, and I go home and I yell at my husband, "You never clean up the kitchen." And then he feels victimized, and he yells at the kid, "Would you put away those 4 pairs of shoes in front of the door? I already told you that." And then she feels victimized, so she yells at her boyfriend, "You never spend any time with me." And then he feels bad and he yells at his mom because she has asked him to pick up all this dirty clothes on the floor. That's how we spread that negativity. And yet the deal is we all have choices along the way. We all have, we can't control other people, but we can control what comes out of our mouths. We can control our thoughts. And we can take that moment of responsibility to change our thinking, change our way of being, and what I call toggle. You can toggle between 2 computer screens. Mm-hmm. You can toggle between that outer ego and the inner wisdom. Right. And when we're speaking from that place of wisdom, we can. It took me a long to learn that skill, but we can speak from that place of love. Right. And we can respond from that place.
Now, Leah, before we go any further, let me just throw out the phone number in case anybody has any questions for our guest, Leah Skurdal. 631-656-5434 is our phone number here in the studio. If you've got a question regarding Leah and the work that she does, Now you mentioned, your personal. It was a kind of a, your story there. I guess it was a learning
Oh, major
curve,
learning.
right?
I always thought, right. I mean, I'm a loving, kind, gentle person, right? I was a, Peace Corps volunteer. I like peace as part of my life, right? I had no idea that my language and my tone of voice came out angry, but I realized that my default setting is on anger, and I still have to manage that. You just ask my kids; they'll tell you that I've got a long way to go. But I have learned, At least I'm aware, and at least I'm much more aware, and I can more often change from that flash in the pan anger to to having a more loving response.
Right.
But it takes practice.
So
It
now,
takes practice. It
right.
takes mindfulness.
Right, and I think that's something that people, they don't do enough of, right? They don't practice. They don't, look for ways to do the best that they can in terms of, having ways to deal with things when it gets a little crazy like that, right?
Well, like I said, the default setting, we just sometimes get stuck on those patterns of the way we've always done things, and it takes a little bit more effort to do things in a new way, to think new thoughts. But the rewards are so much more joyful. You can have more joy in your life when you focus on more joy in your life. Maybe you know the Native American story about a grandfather teaching a grandson. There are two wolves fighting, and one wolf is greed and anger and jealousy and resentment, and the other wolf is loving kindness, gentleness. And the grandfather says, then you have those two wolves within you. And the grandson asks, which one wins? And the grandfather says, the one you feed. So if we focus on those patterns of anger, resentment, jealousy, bitterness, fear, betrayal, blah, 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 that's what we get back.
Right.
Because that's what we're stuck in. That's the pattern we're stuck in. But if you can instead shift in the moment, pivot in the moment, toggle the screen of your awareness to, I wonder if there's another response available here.
Right.
Take a moment and breathe before jumping into it. And then we're on an upward spiral then. And then if we respond from a higher place on the spiral, then we give the other person the opportunity to respond from a higher place on the upward spiral, and the whole conversation can go to a higher place on this upward spiral where there's more love available.
Right. But what if you're in a situation where things are heated and it escalates quickly? How do you make those adjustments and kind of toggle yourself or kind of take it down a notch, so to speak, because that's tough to do, right? In the heat of the moment, we get emotional.
Oh, no kidding. You just asked my teenagers.
Yeah, no kidding. They're crazy. I was a teenager once. I was nuts.
And they know how to push my buttons, right?
Yeah, of course.
So one thing is you want to be mindful. You might have to practice ahead of time, but in that moment, can you breathe? Can you notice? That's the first step, is notice that you are mad. And I've had, there was one morning that I was really repeating this meditation by Thich Nhat Hanh, who is a Buddhist monk.
Oh, yeah, I know
I
him.
notice that I'm angry.
No, I don't.
I'm noticing that I'm angry, and anger is a feeling, and the feeling will pass. And so starting from that place of noticing. But then the next step is I'm noticing that I'm feeling, okay, I feel a little relief. I'm not quite as hot as I was just a moment ago, and allowing that there might be a better feeling. And sometimes you just have to take a break. I just have to walk out of the room. Sorry, I'll talk to you about that in 5 minutes.
Right.
Or I'll talk to you about that in an hour. But I can't talk to you about that right now. But then you set a date or a time. Okay, you know what? I will talk to you about that within 24 hours. And if it's still too hot and you really can't touch it in 24 hours, then give it 3 days. Okay? We'll talk about that on Tuesday.
That's tough to do, though.
7.
I got you know what you almost sound like?
Yeah?
Leah? You almost sound like you're channeling Dr. Buddy Rydell from Anger Management. Next thing you know, next thing you know, you'll be telling me to sing "I Feel Pretty."
No, don't think so.
As a way of dialing it back. Again, we're talking with our guest, Leah Skurdal. She is the owner, she's the speaker, she's the teacher, author, healer, mastery in the art of living. And let's face it, when you're dealing with, tempers getting hot and things kind of spiraling as your emotions start to get the better of you, it's nice to have some type of, I don't know, almost like a cheat code or some way to kind of direct yourself to kind of take you out of that zone, right? Mm-hmm. And those are things that you can help people learn.
Right. Yep. That's what we talk about in my online workshop, and that I can talk to people individually and find out, maybe what their hot buttons are and how we can maybe diffuse some of that. But
and maybe sing a little.
A quick tip. Yeah, I'm sorry.
And maybe sing a little "I Feel Pretty." No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, there you go. That'll help. If you can start laughing, that helps. If you can make a joke that's not at somebody's expense, but is just, lightens the situation, that'll help.
And I think that's important to kind of lighten the mood, so to speak.
Right.
Again, we're talking with our guest, Leah Skurdal. Leah, tell us about the offer that you're offering today. It's 50% off, right?
Sure. Yes. 50% off. So are you ready for a breakthrough? If you're ready for a breakthrough, I would love to talk with you.
Right.
For the first 5 people who text me, I'll offer a 50% off on the first session, on the first 1-hour healing session on the phone or Skype or in person if you want to come to Minnesota. Mm-hmm. So text me at this code, ABMFM50. And my phone number, 651-472-3995. I have had some really, really magnificent work with people lately. I had a couple clients just the other day tell me how powerful they felt it was that even though the people around them hadn't really changed yet, they themselves were able to have more clear boundaries, feel more grounded, feel more peaceful in themselves, and not needing to engage.
Right.
I don't have to go to every argument that I'm invited to.
Yeah, I know, but it's very tempting because that's one of those things that drives people. Unfortunately, getting sucked into these things that really have it's not healthy for us to get sucked into. And working with Leah, she can help you with those things as well as teach you how to deal with them. And that's where the name comes from, Mastery in the Art of Living, masteryintheartofliving.com. Like she mentioned, the 50% off first session, ABMFM50. Text that to her at 651-472-3995. We'll come back with your phone calls right after these words, right here on All Business Media.
Over 50% of the U.S. families are step families, and the one thing that they all have in common is that it is not easy. Being a part of a step family often comes with many questions. His, hers, ours, then the everyday stress, grief, anxiety, the juggling of what to say and what not to say. Let Pat Skinner help guide you through the fog. With her seminars, support groups, family and individual sessions, your step family is one step from becoming a complete family. Call 303-333-5596 or email stepwithpat@yahoo.com and go to the website stepparenting.com. That's stepparenting.com. Stepparenting.com. Empowering step families.
Are you one of the millions of Americans suffering from chronic joint or muscle pain? If so, get to the source of your pain with Orthopedic Physical Therapy Incorporated. Located at 2000 Bremo Road, Suite 202 in Richmond, Virginia, Orthopedic Physical Therapy specializes in getting to the source of your chronic aches and pains through one-on-one, individualized treatments, including hands-on manual therapy. Orthopedic Physical Therapy uses the most up-to-date and effective methods to treat musculoskeletal dysfunction, back pain, pelvic pain, or any other chronic ailments that you just can't seem to shake. Not to mention, Orthopedic Physical Therapy is proud to be one of the first clinics in the state of Virginia to offer trigger point dry needling. For more information about our products and services, visit our website at www.orthopedicptinc.com or dial 804-285-0148. You don't have to live with chronic aches and pains. Improve your quality of life and get back in the game with Orthopedic Physical Therapy, where we get to the source of your pain.
All Business Media presents the Professionals Roundtable. Hear what's hot in the professional world. Timely topics to propel your career to the next level. Professionals Roundtable with Rick Delgado. Exclusively on All Business Media.
And welcome back to All Business Media. And yes, I am your host, Rick Delgado, sitting with our guest, Leah Skurdal. Leah, say hello, please.
Hello.
And again, just a reminder, she's a speaker, teacher, author, healer, and owner at Mastery in the Art of Living out of Lino Lakes, Minnesota. You can reach out to her either by phone at 651-472-3995. Take advantage of that 50% off first consultation, or is that how you're describing it?
Yes.
50% off the first consultation. Just text her the letters ABMFM50. So two numbers at the end. ABMFM50, 50% off, and send that text to 651-472-3995. First 5 people will be able to take advantage of that great special only for today. So make sure you jump on that and take advantage of it. Now, in terms of getting people to connect, I know this is, because let's face it, Leah, people seem, there's all this technology and we feel like we're more connected than ever before, but I feel like we've almost taken a step back in terms of our personal connections.
That is true, because the connections we have on the media are so, a bit superficial. Even if we think we're having some deep communication, it's not the same as when you are in face-to-face with somebody and you can feel their energy, and we need that heart space.
Right.
We are fed, nurtured by that heart space that we share with people. So it's really important to have those interpersonal communication problems solved, so we can get our needs met, not just from somebody else, but from that place of our own inner center. Mm-hmm. So we have more to share with somebody else.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, but how do you get someone to actually, listen to, I guess, that inner voice that because inside I think we all have this inner voice that's very wise, that talks to us, but sometimes we just kind of push it to the side.
Oh, I know. And how is that working for you?
Not very good in a lot of cases.
Oh, no kidding. I know. When if you I've had that problem so many times. You can listen to the wise inner voice, and you cannot. But what ends up working better for you is like, life goes better when I choose to listen.
Right.
Oh, I wish I'd made that choice. Uh-huh.
So is that something in terms of helping them, kind of, I guess, master being themselves, or just being able to listen to themselves?
Exactly. There are lots of ways to tune into that wisdom within, and when we do, we feel more peaceful, we feel more authentic, we feel more like ourselves. And that's what my clients say quite frequently. Oh, I feel more like myself again. I feel more whole. And
Right.
that's because they hadn't been maybe listening to a part of themselves that really wanted to be heard.
Right. That voice, that inner voice that sometimes, you might think it's anytime I listen to myself, I make the wrong choice. But sometimes, I guess it's just a matter of really taking the time out and learning, what it is, what you're trying to tell yourself.
And when we're listening to that wisdom, when you put up your antenna and you're kind of aware, you can end up in places that you didn't know that you were going to go to, because your wisdom makes those connections for you in a way that your ego can't make. Your wisdom can make bigger leaps than your ego mind can make.
Yeah,
the
ego mind it can be a problem sometimes, there, Leah.
Well, we need it. We need it. You know, when you're doing your banking, when you're going directions, but that's the balance of the logical and intuitive mind. You can look at balancing the yin and the yang, the masculine and feminine, the intuitive and logical, the in-breath and the out-breath. And I like to do a figure 8, the infinity symbol, to balance those two parts of wisdom within.
Right.
And when we are in that place of balancing the masculine and feminine, we can come to that place of oneness that goes beyond that duality.
Right.
From the place of oneness, we know a deeper level of wisdom.
Okay. Now, how important is it to be, I don't know, to be nice to yourself, to take care of yourself? Give yourself some time to just sit and breathe and relax.
Well, somebody told me something shocking recently, which probably isn't shocking to anybody else, but it was to me. Is like, relaxation is half of life.
Right.
Well, for me, I kind of run on in a fast-paced life, and so maybe it's a third of my life. A third of my day is relaxation. But when we need all that extra time to relax and find a balance of wholeness, because otherwise the wheel is lopsided. And when we are balancing the masculine and feminine, balancing the in-breath and the out-breath, balancing relaxation and activity, we have that deeper sense of wholeness. And it's really a place of fulfillment, of nourishment.
All right.
Does that make sense?
And that sounds very tasty.
Yes.
Fulfillment of nourishment.
When you nourish yourself from within, you feel more fulfilled.
Exactly.
And so much of life, we're missing that nourishment from within, and so we run around trying to fill that emptiness with alcohol, sex, drugs, TV, buying stuff, and it never feels satisfying. You never feel fully nourished, because what you're looking for is something within, something deeper.
Right.
Than you can get from that superficial ego level.
All right. Well, that's good to know. Again, we're talking with Leah Skurdal. We do have a caller on the line. I wanted to get to that. Caller,
okay.
What is your name? What is your question for Leah?
Hey, what's going on? My name's Luke.
Hey, Luke.
My question is, I heard you talking about anger. Do you work with couples? Because my sister's husband is a very angry person, and I was just wondering if there was something you could do about it.
I would love to work with couples if both people are willing to work together, and if they're not, just working with one party can help shift the energy vibration between the couple. Because I'm working at a soul level and working with the guardian angel of the spirit of this person, and so if I could work with your sister, for example, and she might find some peace in herself that might help her step back a little. And yes, I would be happy to work with the fellow if he's willing to be in that place of an open heart. So if he's open, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And if he's not open, then at least we can start with one person, can get some relief and not feel powerless in this situation.
Right.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
All right. Well, thank you. I'll definitely have them contact you.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Well, thank you for your call. We appreciate that. Again, we're talking with Leah Skurdal. She is our guest. She's a speaker, teacher, author, healer, mastery in the art of living. Relationships are a big, it's a tough situation to navigate around, Leah. And again, when you're dealing with something like that, what the call was just talking about, working with a couple as opposed to just a single person, they have to be, and you make a great point, that they have to be open to it, right? It can't be just somebody dragging you in here, talk to this person, because it's really not gonna take, right?
And we had an interesting situation. I worked with a client who, when she first came in, she set the intention she wanted to heal relationship with her daughters, and she thought at first we were going to have a counseling session with her daughters. I'm like, no, let's just start with you. And by the time at the first session, her relationship with her daughters, because we shifted the vibration, her relationship with her daughters already shifted.
Right.
And we went on then to work with other things. She ended up having a lovely Mother's Day, and having her relationship with her daughters has continued to improve exponentially. But also she's has felt so much more nourished from within, and more calm, and more balanced and whole, and so all of the good healing things that she's doing for herself, we're able to complement them and augment those again exponentially, so that all the work that you're doing in other areas, we can expand.
Right. Now what about, because you mentioned shifting the vibration, how do you go about doing that?
Well, so first off, I grew up in a family of, it was alcoholic and dysfunctional, and so I would learn to tune into, when I went in the room, tune into the thought vibrations that were not being spoken. Mm-hmm. So everybody has intuitive wisdom. We've already talked about that. And so paying attention to that, being mindful of that intuition is one way to start becoming aware, but then noticing that everything is vibration, whether it's the sound waves or something physical, like the physical body.
Right.
And so something I've studied a lot over 30 years is being very mindful of different vibrations. And then, so tuning into a specific thought vibration or feeling vibration, I can feel that. And so I'll often work with a client and say, well, here, this is what I'm picking up. I feel this vibration, and they'll go, oh, that's just what I was thinking about. Like, right. Oh, well, that's interesting. Or that's just, that's an issue that's up for me right now in this relationship. Like, oh, well, that's interesting. So when we kind of clue into that, then we can raise the vibration. So let's see, how do I explain how I do that? Yeah, I'll probably get to the place of teaching that skill at some point.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Again, we're talking with our guest, Leah Skurdal. She's got an offer for you today, and today only. Save 50% on your first, appointment. How would we describe that?
Sure. Okay. Perhaps a healing session.
Okay. First healing session, 50% off. Mm-hmm. All you got to do is text her at the number 651-472-3995. That's 651-472-3995. Just text her with the phrase ABM-FM50. That's ABM-FM50, and you'll enjoy 50% off. That's for the first 5 listeners today. Today only. She's also the author of Seeking Serenity, How to Find Your Inner Calm and Joy. Go to masteryintheartofliving.com for information on the book, her programs, how she can help you, and, of course, the energy healing as well. Purposeful living by connecting body, mind, and spirit. Leah, thank you so much for joining us, as always. We appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Rick. Have a fabulous day.
You too. And we'll be back with more on All Business Media right after these words.
All Business Media presents the Professionals Roundtable. Hear what's hot in the professional world. Timely topics to propel your career to the next level. Professionals Roundtable with Rick Delgado. Exclusively on All Business Media.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her?
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge?
Got to get this all straightened out. Give a little talking to, man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve! Is now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend?
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.